Hello, dear subscribers and followers. This is Jay Torres. Once again, welcome back to Would You Like to Make? Today, we're going to make a special wood frame like the one you see here. We call it the Spotiframe. Why is Spotiframe? Well, because it contains a QR code that links to a music album by a recording artist on Spotify. When you scan it with your smartphone, it will automatically open the Spotify app if you have it installed and redirect you to the artist's music album featured in the frame. How did I make this Spotiframe? Please watch this video until the end to find out. Let's get started.
Would you like to make?
As we begin this project, I'll be using my Bosch GTS 10XC table saw. I've already cut this pine wood to the correct length, so I can easily use the table saw to trim them to the right width and thickness for the wood frame I'm making. I set the table fence and blade distance to 45mm for the frame width. I adjust the blade height to match the thickness of the wood I'm cutting. For those new to using a table saw, my advice is to avoid setting the blade too high. The blade pitch should just barely exceed the thickness of the wood. And now, I'm going to trim it to the exact width of 45mm. Excuse me, I need to clear some sawdust off the table saw before we continue. Again, I'm setting the blade height, this time for the width of the frame I am making. I'm just shaving the outer surface of the wood first to ensure it's straight. This will serve as a reference for cutting the frame to the right thickness. I've now set the distance between the fence and the blade to exactly 10mm, which will be the thickness of the frame I'm making. Since I need to push the wood against the fence while cutting, I'll use this extra piece of wood to keep my fingers safely away from the blade. Always remember to practice safe use of any power tools. I'll cut a groove that's 4 millimeters wide and about 4 millimeters deep in the middle of these pieces. I'll start by marking the center. Since the width is 4.5 centimeters or 45 millimeters, the center is 2.25 centimeters or 22.5 millimeters. Once again, please excuse me while I clear the sawdust off the table saw. To start making the groove, align the mark with the blade's tooth, then bring the fence closer until it touches the workpiece. Lock the fence in place and set the blade depth to around 4 millimeters for the groove. And again, for safety when using a table saw, I'll use a push block to press the workpiece against the table as I push it toward the saw blade. It's dangerous to use just your hand, as the workpiece could break or split in the middle while passing through the blade, potentially causing injury to your hand or fingers. And now, we are safe to proceed with making the groove. I'm going to make one pass. Then another pass on the opposite side. This will create a 4 millimeter wide groove that's perfectly centered in the piece. So, here's the groove that's perfectly done. To make the bevel cuts, I will be using my Bosch GCM 12 GDL Miter Saw this time. Now, it's time for the bevel cuts. But first, we need to cut the pieces to the exact height and width of the frame we're working on. For the height, I'm measuring 208 millimeters. I aligned the edge of the blade with the mark I made. Then place a straight piece of wood at the end of the workpiece to serve as a leg stop for repeated cuts. Finally, I clamp it in place to secure it. For the width of the frame, I measured 160 millimeters. And again, I aligned the edge of the blade with the mark I made. Then place the straight piece of wood at the end of the workpiece to serve as a line stop for repeated cuts. Then clamp it in place to secure it. And for bevel cuts, I first set the bevel angle of the miter saw to 45 degrees. Since we're going to make repeated bevel cuts, again, I'll place a straight piece of wood at the end of the workpiece to serve as a length stop. Then clamp it in place to secure it. And now, let's begin with the bevel cuts. Now, it's time to assemble the frames. Titebond wood glue is all we need to hold the joints together. When applying the glue, avoid using too much, as it will just spill out when the pieces are joined and get wasted. I use vinyl stickers instead of tape to secure the corners because I have plenty in stock. I press the stickers with my fingers to make sure they adhere better to the wood. Finally, we'll use a belt clamp to press the joints and hold everything in place while the glue dries. Immediately wipe off any spilled glue with a wet cloth. I only have 4 belt clamps, so I used corner clamps for this 5th frame. However, I don't recommend using this type of clamp because it's not very effective and can be difficult to use. After 2 hours, we can remove the belt clamp and get the frame ready for the next step. Now, they're ready for the next step, which is cutting a slot on the top for the acrylic glass using a plunge router. To make the slot for Plexiglass, I will be using my Bosch DTF 130 plunge router this time. I'm going to use my portable workbench to clamp the frame. I placed a long straight piece of wood on the right side to serve as a guide for the router. And I also added pieces of wood at the front and back to act as stops at the ends of the slot I'll be making. I applied tape or stickers where the frame will be positioned so that it will be clamped in the exact spot on the workbench. And now, for sanding, I will use my Bosch GEX 185Li Random Orbit Sander. I felt that the Bosch GEX 185Li had too much vibration for this light project and was concerned it might weaken the glue adhesion in the joints. So, I decided to switch to the Bosch GSS 18V-Li. It's also powerful, but its vibration isn't as strong as the first one. Now, I'll prepare the acrylic or plexiglass for cutting. To cut it quickly to the right size for the frame, I'll use the table saw again. I've switched to a 60-tooth blade and removed the riving knife to ensure smooth edges. Now, for the finishing touches on our project, I will create the contents for the wood frame we made. I printed the final design on bond paper to use as a pattern. I also printed stickers of the artist's picture featured in our frame, the QR code linking to the music or album on Spotify, and UV DTF stickers that I had printed at a printing shop. The plexiglass I cut earlier can no longer be used because the adhesive from the paper backing is stuck to the glass and is difficult to clean, likely due to it being in stock for a long time. So, I bought a new plexiglass and I didn't show you the cutting process again since it's the same anyway. In this part, I won't be talking and let the video do it for you. Just watch as I create the contents of our frame until it's finished. Take a look at our 5-piece Spotiframes. Now, watch how to use them. They're not just decorations for your home. They're also perfect for all the music lovers out there. Just scan the QR code with your smartphone and the Spotify app will automatically open if you have it installed, redirecting you to the music or album of the artist featured in our frame. Oops, sorry, I have to mute the sound and just can't let you listen to the music for too long, so we can avoid copyright violations. I hope you guys understand. Let's click on the next song. Again, please understand that copyright violation is a serious matter, so I apologize for any inconvenience. And so again, the next one. Please be patient as I can't play the song for too long. However, you can always listen to it in full on your smartphone's Spotify app. Well, this brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this Spotiframe. If you did, please click the like and share buttons, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my Facebook page, and ring that notification bell for future content. Once again, this is Jay Torres of Wood You Like to Make. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, see you!